Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Louis Van Amstel Podcast. With me, Louis. I am going to talk about 1997. A year that started one way and finished a complete different way. No one saw it come, including me. It was the year I moved to the United States of America. I became an immigrant. And if you ask me, in February of 1997, in 5 months, you are moving to the United States, I would say, are you kidding me? I'm in the middle of a dance career. I had just bought a home in the suburb of Amsterdam, Hoofddorp, which is close to Schiphol Airport. And I don't even know where to begin. But I'm going to actually back up. 1996, we became World Show Dance Champions. And we finished the year at the Dutch Open, which is a huge, big competition in Holland, where I had done show dances by myself when I was a kid. Julie Fryer and I, we did many shows there besides our competing. And then, of course, the end of the year, because we had reached our goal as professionals already. We wanted to eventually be show dance world champion and make the finalists in the pro Latin. And we did that within 10 months of turning pro. So here we go. We have to sit down again with our coach Louis Van Amstel and set new goals. So 1997, we kind of just said, let's continue what we have been doing. Let's go into every major final and work our way up. But now in hindsight, I can already tell you that in my mind, which I didn't know at the time, I guess subliminally, subconsciously, because we hadn't really necessarily set an actual goal of, hey, by 2000, we want to be world professional Latin champions. We haven't set that goal. It was just, two-time world amateur champion, world Latin, world show dance champion, as pros, world pro Latin final. What more do we want? Anyway, so United Kingdom Championships is the first major championships in the year. And again, in 1997, we danced. And in this case, we were not allowed to participate in the Rising Star. And also, we already won it. Why would we do that again? So we make the final. I don't even know the results, but we were in the final. I think we were 4th or 5th. And then, of course, we have our national championships, which pros in Holland. We have a one round. We have a handful of professionals. So for us, it was just we have to dance. It was more like a show in front of, a few hundred Dutch people. So that means we qualify to go to the World Championships. So I have mentioned this in the year 1994. So watch that podcast if you don't know what I'm talking about. Julie Fryer, my professional dance partner, and I, in 1994, we went for a whole summer to New York City. And we enjoyed it so much. We studied dance, Lindy Hop, salsa. We went to the Copacabana multiple times. We just wanted to enjoy dance from the inside out, but without the pressure of competition. We also I lost my best friend, Marcella, in May of that year. So we just needed to relax. So we had already gone to New York for 3 months. And after that United Kingdom Championships, we had a show booked at the Californian Open, organized by Debbie Avalos, which is a dear friend of mine. I love you, Debbie. If you ever watch this, I will never forget you invited us multiple times to your competition in Anaheim, in Orange County, and we did those shows with such joy. So in February, we flew to Los Angeles to do this show in Anaheim, and the American audiences, we loved it. Being from Europe, the audience is great, absolutely, but the United States audiences, oh my gosh, amazing. So, and of course, with our style, and when we do shows, we do shows. We choose different music. We really choreograph numbers. We don't just slap a beginning and an end to our regular routine, which most pros do, and then make a lot of money. So we did not, and we were known for it. So we were popular with our shows. Now, just before we went to LA, I had just signed my mortgage for my very first home. And so now I'm a proud homeowner at the age of 25, or 26. Well, fact check. And I told Julie, hey, on the way back, do you want to stop in New York? I just want to go there for 3 days to see my friend Nina Marks. And she said, no, I want to go straight home. So I flew to New York. She flew back to Amsterdam. And I was in New York for 3-4 days just to enjoy the city. And we didn't have a major championship come up yet. That took a few months. So we had taken the liberty. You know what? We have to balance our competitive life with regular life too. So I enjoyed the heck with Nina in New York, which I didn't know just then, but I had a feeling that a year or two later, she'd become my best friend. So anyway, I was there for 3 days and something happened. We are the current world show dance champion plus 2-time amateur world champion. So in New York City, there are ballroom dancers. I just didn't know how many. But Nina owned a dance studio called Stepping Out at the time on Broadway, 57th and 58th, close to Central Park. And I was just dancing there, did some teaching, and then there was this Japanese choreographer that was doing a project off Broadway, and he asked me if I would choreograph a ballroom number for that off-Broadway show. Well, I mean, as you know by now, I'm trained in all forms of dance, and we used it while we had our ballroom dance career, and we were still doing it. But, okay, I'm honored he asked me, but I'm in the middle of my career. I'm in Europe. I'm not living in the United States. I'm not in New York City. So I said, thank you, I'm honored, but no, I'm in a career, sorry. So now I am going on the KLM flight from JFK to Amsterdam. It's a red-eye. And it wasn't a busy flight. I'm sitting there, I have 3 seats for myself. And I don't know what happened. I just start bawling. And what's going on? Why am I crying? And as I'm raising that question in my head, why am I crying? Why can I not control my emotions right now? And okay, I started reflecting. And it started with, I said no to that choreographer, but I really didn't want to say no. But I should, right? I did the right thing. I have a career. I live in Europe. And we're in the middle of an amazing career with Julie. I reflected some more. And it wasn't just that I said no to the choreographer. I love New York City. I now know why, but there was such a draw, I guess, in my subconscious mind that was knocking on the door with my emotional self saying, yeah, you don't want to leave, but here you are flying back to Amsterdam. As I'm reflecting, I just allow those feelings to come. I'm very spiritual, and by that time I was 2 years in, being hardcore spiritual, reading about the afterlife, reading about what life is all about, the balancing act of career, personal life, giving in, not giving in to your own feelings, being self-confident. And by that time, I was really confident, not cocky. I really can say that about me. I've never been cocky, and my friends know it, and hopefully you know it. It was clear I did not want to leave New York City. And then I did something even weirder that I've never done before and I've never done since. I took my credit card and walked to the phone on the Boeing 747. I sliced my credit card and I called my mother. This was probably about 3, 4 a.m. and I've never asked her, how did that make you feel when your son calls you knowing that I'm midair and I'm calling you from the plane? I'm going to have to ask her. So I asked her, please, I was going to, that's who I am. I do red eye and I start working right away. I had lessons booked because by now we're teaching. I said, please cancel all my lessons and ask Julie to come to the studio where we practice. I need to talk to Julie. This was not the studio where I grew up. This was another studio, and no one was there. And I asked the owner if I could have a meeting with Julie, one-on-one. No one was there. No one knew about it. This just had to be under the radar. So, of course, my mom did and Julie did. So from the airport, I went straight to the dance studio. And if one thing I learned from my 1992 decision to stop mid-career and just let the world, including my coach and most importantly my dance partner Julie Fryer, know that I couldn't do this anymore, I learned one thing. I cannot just make a decision and share that decision with Julie. I put it on the table. So here we are, and of course she must have been nervous. Why would I want to sit down with her coming straight from New York? We just had a show in Los Angeles, amazing show, and we're in the middle of another career. And I've also not asked her since then, how did that feel for her? So I'm going to have to get her on the podcast too, so we can talk about this, because I'm sure you're interested, right? The psychology behind it, how one decision affects someone else's life and career. And this is why I respect Julie Fryer until I die. We've had our ups and downs. We've not always been roses and sunshine, but this is what I did differently, and I think she respected me for that. I explained to Julie what happened in New York. I was offered this job. That never happened, by the way. And what happened on the plane. And I just put these feelings on the table because I hadn't made a decision. I did not know what happened to myself on that plane by myself. And here I am at 9 a.m. in the morning, because we landed probably 6:30, 7 a.m., going through customs, driving home, and then meeting her. I just shared it all. And I will never forget Julie's reply to me putting my thoughts on the table. I cannot stop you from following your heart. And if this is what you really want, to move to the United States, New York City, then we need to have a solid exit strategy, a plan, so that we can finish this properly. We were making a lot of money doing shows. We were already in the final. We were the current world show dance champions, and we were going to do many more because we love doing the show dance. But the selflessness of Julie, I don't even know if Julie herself knows how selfless she was in that moment. Because in my mind, if she said, oh, no, I still want to do 1 or 2 years, I swear to God, I would have done it. Oh, I would have done it. I didn't have to. I was as relieved, as much as insecure. I hope this makes sense. Because within a matter of 6.5 hours, I made a very impulsive choice, I guess with Julie, that we were going to stop our career as ballroom dancers. And I was going to pack my bags and move to a complete different country with no plan. I was so excited one side and so insecure on the other side. I just bought a home. I have a lot of friends in Holland. We had a lot of business. Now I have to deal with that. But I guess the drive, the passion for New York City was so high, that was the driving force. So now, yeah, okay, we had a few days and now I had to tell people and all that. Of course, it was like a bomb exploded. My best friend at the time, it was like a bomb because we bought that home that I told you about earlier together. And of course, I was going to make those payments and all that, and I was never going to come back. But right now, that was not, I'm sorry, I'm just a hot mess. And oh my gosh, this is therapeutic. Going back to all these feelings and decisions and learning lessons. Follow your gut. It's okay. But yeah, actions have consequences. And I did not do a lot of consequential thinking. I was just, this is what I want. But I was proud of the fact that I sat down with Julie and I did not tell her I'm moving. I'm telling her my feelings. And I had learned a big lesson from 1992. But ultimately, we decided. And then we had another person we worked with, Max Winkelhaus, who is brilliant at marketing. And we had him help us with a big ad, a farewell ad, a thank you ad to the ballroom industry who has been so kind to us. Not in early 1994, but they were still kind to push our buttons, to find the stronger self within us and push that we work even harder. So even though 94 started rough, ultimately everyone gave in. And so here we are saying goodbye. And of course, a lot of people were surprised. Oh my gosh. I did not say in that advertisement that I was moving to the United States. It was just farewell, thank you. And this was well thought out with Max Winkelhaus and Julie and Ruud. And Ruud, even though he was our coach, I think by now we had reached so many of our goals with him as the only coach we ever had. We even won an award, the BDF Award, the British Dance Federation Award in London, for winning the World Championships twice as amateur with one coach, which was yet again another unique situation. So here we are, end of February 1997. The decision was made. Now I have to get my ducks in a row. So now the question was when. So I based it, oh my gosh, I can be so impulsive, but 27 years now, looking back, following my gut ever since 1992 has served me right every single time. And my motto now is don't listen to too many people. The more people you listen to, the more you find ways to not do something you want to do in life. I'm here to tell you, don't listen. Sometimes serves you better than to hear all these opinions. Have a small team that you believe in, that believes in you, that trusts you and that you trust. Because with that small team, you can conquer the world and anything you put your mind to. And I think by now, when you have listened and watched all these years, 94, 95, 96, now 97, that I'm following my heart. And there's brain activity too. I now have to get my ducks in a row. So what did I base my decision on date-wise when I was going to move to the United States? Well, my mother had divorced my father in 95 and found her second love. And they were about to get married, but they were looking for a date. And my birthday is June 23rd. And I thought it would be kind of unique or symbolic if they would get married on June 22nd and I moved to the United States on June 23rd, my birthday. So I discussed it with my mom and they were okay with that. So third week of June, their marriage, their wedding would be set and I would book the plane for me to move the following day. I had so much anxiety and excitement at the same time because I was the wedding planner. I wanted to be because I had some things in mind. And of course, my mom had to deal with a lot of decisions that I had made in the past 5 years between 92 and 97. There are many more decisions that I made that affected my parents in ways that I'll probably talk about in the future. They were pretty painful for them too. But I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just going to leave my mother and say, I'm moving, bye. We've gone through a lot, but ultimately, can we get under each other's nails and skin? Oh yes. But we're still here. Anyway, wedding present. What am I going to give my mom and her new husband, my stepfather, who's only 8 years older than me? Anyway, that was a fun fact because I guess I'm like my mother. We like him young. Anyway, oh my gosh, that could be so young. Still legal. Yes, legal. Wedding. What am I going to give my mom? And then it hit me. My wedding present is their honeymoon goes to New York City. So they actually can see where I'll be living. We can have some fun, see some Broadway shows. So she can see, the living conditions. But I didn't tell her that. I was going to tell her that on the wedding. So there was not a lot of time to pack. But anyway, then I thought, okay, well, during that wedding, they need to earn some pocket money. And I thought, how can it be different? Well, I got a whole board with 2 faces and anyone in the room who wanted to earn or spend some money, small little muffins, a little bigger cake or a huge cake, $1, $5, $10, and you can throw them at my mom. So my mom and her husband, Andre, by now they were married, they had to put their faces through. And oh my gosh, everyone went for $10 and they were throwing those cakes. Oh my gosh. We laughed so hard, and they were, oh my gosh, their faces full of cake. Anyway, yeah, at their expense, but they made a few $100s to take with them. And then, of course, last but not least, I revealed to them that they were coming with me to New York on the same flight. Actually, not on the same flight. They would come a day later. And oh my gosh, my mom's face, priceless. And of course, lots of tears. So that was nice. Then I want to finish this podcast with the most emotional moment. The hardest moment, probably, in my life. Getting into the gate, being the last person on board, knowing this was it. No more. No way back. I've done it. 10 friends were given special passes because luckily we live close to the airport, work for the airlines, so 10 friends were able to come to the gate. They were lined up all next to each other. I walk into the gate. Gosh, hugging, kissing, crying. Backpack. I walk into the gate. And just before I board the plane, I turn around. One last time. Like this. It's like it's yesterday. I turn around, walk into the plane. The door literally closes behind me. Those stewardesses and flight attendants probably think, what the heck is going on with you? I sat down in the plane, bawling for like half an hour. The plane takes off. I don't know what happened to me. A calming feeling. Tears went away. And then something happened. I started smiling within myself, proud, full, excited. The biggest change of my life is about to happen. And when I landed at JFK and I passed customs and the doors open, and now you see all these people waiting for all their friends and family. And I felt like I was coming home. I love my home country. I love my friends. All these friends, 80% of them, those 10 that were standing there, came to my wedding in Utah. And I talk to still. I see them every time I go to Holland. I have friends. Even when I left my home country. New York City, I see as my home. New York City is a world on its own. And I now know why, for its diversity. You can be who you want to be in New York, whether you are a taxi driver, a mogul, an artist in any shape or form. New York City, you can express, you can be who you want to be. And I will always love that city. And I never, ever regretted the decision. Why? Because I followed my gut. And then the brain came in and made it work. And then confirmed, you're ready to do this. And I did. And I'm damn proud of it. Did I know what was going to happen in 1999 with Karina Smirnoff? 2000 with Karina Smirnoff? 2002, my Broadway show? 2005, getting the call, being on Dance with the Stars? I made the right call. Thank you for listening.